3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome. Hope you guys. I hope you enjoyed that game. If that's what that was, that was booty cheeks, is what that was. What we just witnessed tonight was just gross. I don't know if they call that basketball or not, right? Whew. Okay. Got a lot to discuss. Just what we saw there. Do me a favor, slap the likes. Slap the likes. I'd appreciate it. Share the content. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Man, I keep saying it. We are creeping and crawling our way to 500,000 total. 500,000 total views. That's pretty sweet. That is pretty awesome. I'm no Trey Biddy, right? I'm no War Machine. I don't make kick-ass highlight videos. It's just us. And I read your chat. I actually try to read chat. Yeah. I hope let's just get into it. Let's try to discuss what we just witnessed really quick. Let's break down the numbers here. Okay, first off, Connor Vanover. He's capable of doing what he did tonight against teams that play like Mississippi State does, a little bit slower paced, right? They want to run more set plays, and really their ball movement tonight was just disgusting. I thought Mississippi State, they had 10 total assists tonight. Not that Arkansas did much better. They turned the ball over. It's the record for the SEC, 26 turnovers. As hard as these announcers wanted to, it was almost as if complimenting the Razorbacks was hard for them to do. And I get it. Mississippi State they did turn the ball over on their own more than a couple of times. But Arkansas's defense, I thought, was spectacular. I thought it was just solid. All right. Mississippi State, who got off to, what was their lead? The largest lead in the game, 18 points, I think it was, or 16 points. They shot 15 of 49 from the floor. That's just shy of 31%. 5 of 19 out in three-point land, so it's 26%. 55% at the free throw line. That's not good. Golly. I mean, just looking at these numbers, it's just unreal. Unreal. And if they cut their turnovers in half, we had a ball game. I mean, that's how gross this game was. They had a grand total of 34 rebounds, 8 offensive, 26 defensive. They didn't get a whole lot of production from their bench. Leading scorer tonight had 10 points. Tolu Smith was their leading scorer tonight. They were bad. Their turnovers, it's not surprising if you tell someone the score. Wait, they only scored 45 points. How? How much they turned the ball over? 20 what? That's awful. In the first half alone, I think they were in double digits. They were like at 14 turnovers in the first half or something. They were just so cold from the floor too. Mississippi State had, I think, their longest drought. Their scoring drought was something like a little over 6 minutes. Arkansas had one that went over 7 minutes. Arkansas's first 7 or 8 minutes of play this year has been abysmal. Their first half play has been abysmal on both sides of the floor. People want to complain about, trying to find the starting five. We got to remember, you're playing with guys that aren't 100%. Moses Moody sprained his ankle apparently before the game. That had to play. I mean, depending on how severe, and obviously it wasn't super severe, he wouldn't have played tonight, but that slows you down. If anyone's ever had a sprained ankle, my God, then you got to turn around and play a game against a bigger physical Mississippi State team. Well, they're big. They're a pretty big team. They've got some size. I don't know about physical, but I was not impressed with Mississippi State at all. I don't know how this team found a way to 10 wins. I don't know how they found a way to 4 conference wins. They've had a couple of good wins on the year. I don't know how. Was it the Bud Walton magic? I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, you can't really get a whole lot of people in there. You can't imagine that Bud Walton had that big of an impact on Mississippi State. I think it was 50-50. I think Arkansas defense, I think they deserve more credit. So Arkansas, not much better from the floor. At one point in the first 7 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there, they were shooting sub 8%. Sub 8%. At one point, for the first 5 or 6 minutes, it was like 6%. 6 to 5%. It was awful. There was no rhythm, no flow. They looked just so discombobulated on the offensive end. On defense, their half-court defense was garbage. They just could not find rhythm on either side of the floor. And it's so good to see them bounce back because I don't think Mississippi State is a terrible team. I really don't. So 40 or 35% or 36% roughly from the floor, 23-64, 2 of 17 from three-point land. Three-point land, three-point range, beyond the arc, out in the perimeter, 2 of 17. But then they shot 93% from the free throw line, 13 of 14 there. Not a ton of production from the bench outside of J.D. Note, who turned the ball over 3 times. That's what he does. He's gonna turn the ball over 2, 3, 4 times a game. My player of the game is without a doubt Connor Vanover. He did turn the ball over 3 times, and all 3 of them he's just getting a little sloppy with the ball. And that's nothing new with this team down low, and it's one of the reasons it's a part of kind of finishing at the rim, right? Like it's everything down there. It's everything down in the paint. It's like this team, they just get lost when they're down below, and they shouldn't with I'm again, broken record, and I'm going to say it, with the damn size they have, it's just inexcusable. And they found themselves in Connor off the pick and rolls tonight. Wow, 13 points, man. Him and Justin Smith carried Arkansas in the second half. 13 points from Connor. He did get into some foul trouble, and I thought a couple of those foul calls were pretty soft. 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, 8 rebounds. But that's how many games in a row is that at least 2 blocks? I think that's 4, maybe more. That should be about his average. Now I think he had like 8 in the last 2 games combined. But Mississippi State isn't exactly small, and for him to get 2 blocks, you're going to take that. So Arkansas now 14-5 on the year. 6-4 in conference play. You're a couple games above 500. You're going to take that, right? Yeah, Moody, if you're going to ask me what happened, I really think that slow beginning, it was these guys trying to find their rhythm. They're not 100% healthy. I don't know if you guys noticed, Jalen Williams did not play a ton. Jalen, who had his try to spit that out. Let me get some water. Well, my 7 Brew. You guys drink 7 Brew? This stuff is, I mean, look, it's good. It's good stuff. I got the raspberry truffle. The raspberry truffle. Look, man, raspberry Coke is undefeated at Firehouse Subs. I'm just saying. Jalen Williams had his leg wrapped up tonight. Justin Smith looks so slow in the first 5 or 6 minutes. He just I don't know, he looked like he was coming out of a coma or something. He just was not. He didn't look himself, and I started to wonder: are they gonna have to bench Moody, Jalen? Maybe with how just slow they were, are they gonna have to Justin Smith? Like, are they gonna have to bench these guys? Like, what is going on? They can't because of Mississippi State's size. What the hell was going on? But they're 93% on at least 14 attempts at the free throw line. I think is their best on the year. So hey, Mississippi State will fall to 4-6. 10-9 on the season. Now, hold on, let me read Chisnat. Oh, Preston Reedy with the $10 dono. Let me read this, buddy. Let's see. JR, sorry, man. You're man, all you guys getting your comments just blocked up here. I've had to look at this. I love booty cheeks. Thanks for the shows, Ty. Hey, Fish, I appreciate it, man. Preston Reedy says it wasn't pretty by no means, but after that, come from behind win to end the streak. Go celebrate and have yourself a drink on me. Appreciate the content. I appreciate that, Preston. I really do, man. That's awesome. And thank you guys for using. I didn't even mention Super Chat tonight. I appreciate that. It wasn't pretty. And that's the benefit of having the size and depth and athleticism and the talent. It's games like this. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a reason why Bama and LSU, when they got off to these fast starts, and Arkansas got off to these slow starts, teams like that, you cannot afford for that to happen because it's incredibly difficult to bounce back, right? And they didn't, and they got just destroyed. It kind of looked like Mizzou. That first half was very reminiscent of the Mizzou game. I think it was the second game against Auburn. We got off to this really slow start, and they had double-digit point lead. And look, you're going to have double-digit point leads happen at home, neutral site, or on the road, right? That's going to happen. Sometimes you just don't play your best ball. But this is continuous. This is every game. They're getting off to these ugly-ass starts. Booty cheeks. And 61 points is nothing to write home to mom about, right? And so in Mississippi State, I don't think they're that good to hold teams like Arkansas who have the shooting power like they do to hold them like that. This was obvious. This was obviously just not – it was just a bad game. It was an ugly game, and you won it. That's what matters. Hey, I'll take an ugly dub over a pretty loss any day, right? I wanted to address something someone said in our Discord, and this is actually someone new. Hang on just a second. Let me make sure I copy and paste that and throw that up. Let me put this in. Hang on just a second. Hang on. Boom. There we go. Okay. This was from someone who's new in our Discord. I rarely do this because I kind of save these for like we do the Discord questions on the Hog Talk podcast. We've kind of turned it into a Friday segment, and they're really fun. I really enjoy doing them. If you guys want to get in on them, you can join our Discord. I'll give you the link here in a minute. This is from my Cabbages? Is that the name? My Cabbages? He's new in our Discord. He says, Vanover showed the need for healthy skepticism when SEC play started, but is a great player who will keep the butt cheeks clenched when he is in the game. I agree with this. I don't disagree. It's not a bad take. It really isn't. But what I will say is, as far as the skepticism, some of it valid and some of it not. What he's done in the paint they talked about it tonight at length. His ability to alter shots because of his frame. And look, he moves pretty well in the paint sometimes. Not all the time. He gets body checked. He gets pushed around from time to time. He showed aggressiveness tonight. And yeah, and again, I don't disagree with early in SEC play. My Cabbages, what a name. My Cabbages isn't wrong here. And he does. He forces you to alter how you do things when you drive the lane. He can force turnovers inside. He forces you to second guess. He forces altered shots, and he can get you 4 or 5 blocks in a game. He gets those difficult rebounds that for anyone else would be tough because of the reach, or the ball gets away or it hits off the rim at the right point, and he can just reach up and grab that ball out of the air. He is a huge advantage for Arkansas down low, and I would prefer him to stay down low, and I think that's been part of what's going on with Musselman, and Connor is not really sure where to keep him on the offensive and defensive end of the floors. I think you've seen him move a little bit as far as where he wants to keep him, and that's natural. And look, man, I really think Musselman has done an excellent job with Connor, with at least trying to get him in position, to get the rebounds, to get the easy points, to do – it has been on Connor. And one of my biggest gripes about Connor is for someone who's 7'3", he plays like he's 5'9". He looks a little shy. Can't be shy. I'm not asking him to be big nasty. I'm not asking him to be Corliss Williamson, right? Corliss Williamson. He needs to get a little bit more aggressive down low, and he's got to play more aggressive on both sides of the floor. I would like for there to be more effort off these loose balls. I don't know if he has it in him to do that every single game, but I have really enjoyed what he's done on the defensive end. It's very rare to see another big box him out entirely for an entire, 2 halves when he plays 2 halves. This was his kind of game. a little bit slower paced. If you noticed, LSU, Bama, he's not going to play as much. He's not going to play against teams that press. He's not going to play against teams that are aggressive man-to-man defense and can move up and down the floor really quick. He's not going to play those kind of – he's going to get very few minutes. He's going to be lucky to get 8 to 9 minutes in those kind of games. I've enjoyed these defensive moments from him, right? Like the moments that he's put on the floor on defense. Again, he forces altered shots. And he's got a clean stroke, man, outside and out in the perimeter. And he does offer that on the offensive end where he can stretch the floor out. He was cold tonight. I think he started 0 for 3 and then he ended up 1 of 4. So, hang on just a second. I wanted to pull something up. Yeah, he is not, and again, he's not. We're not asking him to be something that he's not, right? We're not asking him to go out there and log big minutes against teams like that. But when you have a matchup like you've got tonight, and he shows up like he did, I got to give him tip of the cap. I hope he can do that some more. I hope this builds on his confidence. Now tonight, it was him and Justin Smith in the second half for the most part. Moody, I think, had 2 points in the second half. He had 11 in the first half, 2 in the second half. Moody, again, I don't know if it's sprained ankle or Mississippi State just figuring out how to defend him, how to keep him from being super productive on the offensive end. I enjoyed the aggressiveness that we saw tonight. I really enjoyed the fight. I thought they had a lot of fight. I really do. I thought that as ugly of a game as that was, the fact that these guys had, I don't know, I think they're still turning the ball over and the game's over. I'm pretty sure Mississippi State is they're stepping on the bus as we speak and they turn the ball over. I really felt like this should have been something like an 82-60 kind of game, right? Or an 82-55. It really should have been a blowout. Arkansas didn't play so pretty. You got off to another slow start, and the score is what it is, right? Let me scroll down here. You guys are, let's see, Clay, Catron, good team, but if we had someone to take over, Joe or Jones would have been scary. John Doe, bro, for show. I've seen you in here before. I recognize that name. He'll be warming the pine against Bama and LSU. He will, because that's just too fast. That's not his kind of game. His game is against teams like who we just played tonight. Vanover is a poor man's poor. Again, he's not a perfect player, and we got to remember he's still young. This is his first year to get this kind of minutes. I think I'm trying to remember how many minutes he logged against Cal. It wasn't very much. Vanover played great tonight. Big boost for his confidence. I agree 110%, Judd. I do. He is capable against teams like this of doing what he did tonight. Tony Brown, nice win. While this is not a season-changing win, this is a trend upward. Woo picks. Hey, Tony, I like the positive attitude, baby. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Mr. Bloodline, how you doing? I see you in chat. Can we get Vanover a sandwich or something? Hey, man. I could put him on the Ty Hudson diet. 7 brew and gross. It's just now it's just nothing but watered down, extremely watered down coffee. I didn't even get to use my Billy Madison gift tonight. Oh, that sucks. Hey, hate it happens, but it is positive. They don't give up when down big early. I agree 110%. They could have. I think there were some Mike Anderson teams that absolutely would have. Nothing against Mike, but I can remember early on there were teams, if they got down 12, 14 points, it just seemed like really difficult for them to get back in the game. We look like the Walking Dead to start out the game. We did, Joe. I agree. Must said Moses Moody hurt his ankle in practice. He did. He sprained his ankle. He sure did. He might not be able to gain weight because of his frame. Now, believe it or not, they're claiming that he lost weight. And I'm like, where the hell did it go? Like, what are you talking about? He looks the same. I was at the Barnhill Red-White scrimmage last year. He looks the same to me. I mean, not to be mean, but he's like a walking toothpick with limbs. While it wasn't a season-changing win, it could have been a season-changing loss, and we avoided that. Very well said. Spawn Quest came. I agree. This loss could have really, really, really affected what you do from here on out. And, again, you've got this shot here. You've got a shot to go on a decent little win streak. And, again, I don't know how the committee is going to handle this with all these teams that are postponing or canceling games. It's just, you've got some schools that have completely opted out or opted out a lot of games early on in the year. I really, and that's starting to weigh on me a little bit more. They're still in it. They're still in it. At the moment, I think Lenardi had them as the first 4 out. I think someone will have to correct me in chat. But you've got A&M coming up. Okay, I think that might be a little bit tougher game than we realize at Kentucky, right? These are 3 games. Mississippi State today, a game you should have won against Oklahoma State. And we don't realize Jalen Williams didn't even play the second half or didn't log very many minutes in the second half against Oklahoma State because of an injury that I mentioned earlier. How big of an impact did that have, right? We didn't even discuss that on the postgame show. Like, how big of an impact did not having Jalen out there? Hopefully Jalen is ready to go 100%. Hopefully, I think Justin Smith is starting to get into it. I really think he's come back. I think he's as close to 100% as he's going to get. If you want my opinion, we'll have to keep an eye on Moody, see if how his ankle respond, how if it's really big and swollen, that's going to impact whether or not he logs very many minutes against A&M. A&M could be an interesting matchup. I've watched them play a couple of times this year. No, they're not exactly world beaters. They're actually pretty bad. They're 2-6, 8-7 on the road. But they have shown fight. They've shown that they can go that they can be pretty tough. They don't have any. When you look at their wins, their most impressive win all year at the moment is Auburn, 68-66. They beat Kansas State 68-61. That's the game I kind of caught a little bit. I watched the highlights, and it was a game that was I just happened to catch a couple of minutes of, and they show fight. They're pretty aggressive. Should win that one. That ought to just be to me, that's a easier matchup, but it's one you can't look over compared to who you just played tonight. So again, A&M is up next. They're 13th in the SEC, 8-7 overall. They're not, and I don't know if they're missing pieces, if it's COVID or what's going on with A&M. I didn't think they'd be great this year, but I didn't think they'd be this bad. But how about them beating Kansas State? That's all I got to say, right? SEC, what was the final? I think they ended up winning that Big 12 SEC matchup by 1, right? Maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help the selection committee make their, when they're looking down the list here of teams out of the SEC. And right now, Saturday Down South still has Arkansas as 6th. They're 6th place right now according to their power poll. Do 6 teams get in from the SEC this year? If you look down your list here, Alabama, who's 9-0 in conference play right now, they look and probably are a lock at 14-4 overall. Florida, who's 10-4, 6-3 in conference. I still think they're beatable, but that's going to be a tough game for Arkansas. It's going to be a real tough game. LSU, who right now is ranked 3rd in the SEC, but Arkansas still has 3 more wins, and Tennessee has 1 more win overall in the year. Arkansas at 14-5, like we just mentioned. Tennessee at 12-4. You got Georgia, who's 11-6 on the year, but they're 4-6 in conference play. And Arkansas's building themselves up. I think they were actually called a quad win. Had they lost tonight, had Arkansas lost tonight, that would have been a quad 1 victory for Mississippi State because of their because of where they're ranked. I forgot which poll they were referencing, but they have Arkansas, not the AP top 25, but they have all these different ways they look at teams and break them down, and of course we just you talk about the quad wins. That would have been a quad 1 win for Mississippi State, and I just don't think they're a tournament team. They've got NIT written all over them, but A&M is a game that if you lose, it hurts. That probably is a game that might even knock you out of the conversation entirely. But they have shown to be physical. They can move up and down the floor pretty well. I'm curious. You don't want to overlook them, right? But then you're on the road against Kentucky on the 9th. and then on the road against Missouri. I mean, you go from 3 winnable games to then 2 tough road games. Kentucky at Rupp. Again, I think that's a winnable game. At Mizzou, and then you're at home against top 25 ranked Florida. Will Florida still be ranked by the time they play them? I don't know. Florida's been kind of up and down this year, but they're trending in a pretty good direction. They are also they are 2-10-4, 6-3 in conference, right? They're on a nice little win streak. They beat Tennessee 75-49. They went on the road and they beat Georgia. They beat Vanderbilt just by 7, and then they beat top 15 ranked West Virginia 85-80. But you go back, they have some heads. They've got at least a head scratching loss, which came to Kentucky, and they lost to Mississippi State. So again, they've been a little bumpy this year, but right now they're riding a 4-game win streak. They're going to play South Carolina, should be a win there, and then they're on the road, which could be a really good game on the 6th against LSU, and then they're back on the road against Tennessee, which will also be a pretty good game. So there's so much basketball left to be played. I like where Arkansas is at as far as their positioning at the moment. But the true test, it starts on the 9th. You can't overlook A&M, like I've mentioned. These guys are their backs are kind of against the wall, right? They would love nothing more than to upset Arkansas, who has won 4 of their last 5 games. Played a tough game against Oklahoma State. And that's another thing, too. I did agree with these guys, even though they didn't talk nonstop about Sharif Cooper tonight, which is amazing, I guess, because, I don't know, they lost again. Auburn did. Maybe that's why they're slowly starting to hop off that bus, off the Sharif Cooper bandwagon. One could only hope. But something I noticed, too, I think that Oklahoma State game, Arkansas still they were right. They called it. Arkansas looked gassed. Justin Smith was grabbing his hips, with 10 minutes to go or 8 minutes to go in the first half. They look toast. And I thought, oh boy, they're going to need their depth to kick in tonight. But yeah, you look at the rest of the season, you're going to have to win some games you're not expected to win. I think they are capable of doing that, but they're also just as capable of losing games they're not supposed to lose and getting blown out by some of these teams like Missouri and Florida and Bama and LSU. And you still got them all left, and you close the year out March 2nd against South Carolina on the road. So, Grant Patrick, I wouldn't be upset if we lose every game here on out, but beat Kentucky. Coach Cal can kiss my butt, says Grant Patrick. Let's see, I thought I saw he gained weight, he got sick and lost it. Oh, okay. All right, Jen, I wasn't aware of that. Where'd the weight go, though? That's what I want to know. Where the hell does weight go? I didn't get to see the full game, says Tony, but was this a team win or was this one-man show? Y'all talking about Vanover like he just dunked on Jordan or something. No. He came out and played, I'm going to say, against an NIT quality team, not a quality opponent, but a pretty decent opponent who happens to have some size. And yeah, he actually did have like 2 or 3 dunks tonight. He just responded when nobody else would in the second half outside of him and, Justin Smith. Moody's nowhere to be found. Desi Seals, we don't really know. I don't think he ever checked back in. He hurt his shoulder. I don't know what he did to his shoulder, and it sounded like he came back out, but it never was on the floor. I did miss like a couple minutes in the second half. I don't think he ever stepped foot back on the floor. But Connor Vanover stood up and played out when nobody else was. When nobody else would or could. So it was impressive to see Connor step up because I think without Connor tonight, this is a closer game. Not only because you'd miss his size on the defensive end and on the rebounding end, but what he did is, scoring-wise. He didn't finally knock down a three-pointer there late in the second. Jalen Tate looked like Dave Chappelle when he played basketball. Or Prince. That is one of the best skits of all time. Game blouses. I love that that clip, that skit. Dave Chappelle, he's the man. Have a Coke and smile and ball out. Did Arkansas play good or did Mississippi State play just really bad? I think it was, Mississippi State was bad. Mississippi State was very bad, especially, they just could not respond to Arkansas, what they were doing on defense. I really thought Arkansas's what they were able to do, these half-court traps. I don't know if you guys are watching, but their half-court traps just really discombobulated. Discombobulated. Sounds like something. Sounds like, yeah. I was impressed with what they were able to do defensively, but a lot of it was just Mississippi State. I don't know what they were doing. They looked terrible. Hogs scored 23 points off of turnovers tonight. Mississippi State scored, I think it was just 4. I mean, that's you need to underline that, right? Half-court traps tonight were big. Hogs went on a 19-2 scoring run. I want to say that was halfway through the first half is when that started. I'm trying to read the rest of my notes here. Yeah, Arkansas. Now, I'm going to say this too. And we talked about their ugly starts, but these droughts that they go on, and they do this multiple times. It's not just like they go on 1, 2, or 3 minute drought scoring. They'll do this 2, sometimes even in the uglier games 3 times. They just go on these ugly scoring droughts. And I can't for the life of me understand why. Again, with all the scoring potential you have up and down this roster, right? I mean, we've seen what J.D. Note can do. When he's not turning the ball over, when he's taking better shot selections, right? When he's better with, when he decides to shoot the damn ball, he could just really turn it on. Desi Seals, who's been so spotty this year, when he gets hot, anything can happen. I don't know why it's hard. Arkansas has to try twice as hard to score the ball, especially when they try to go low. When nothing's when nothing's falling down outside, right? It's like football, right? Or any sport. You adjust to whatever it is you're not doing well, and you kind of go away from that a little bit, right? If running the football isn't super productive, but you've run the ball 25 times and you're averaging 2.5 yards a carry, well, then you start opening things up, right? You spread things out a little bit. Maybe you run some more, I don't know, you go faster with your tempo and you dial up more RPOs and, live and die off play action like Brett Bielema did. You find, not to give Brett Bielema any compliments, you find a way to get something else going on the offensive end. And this team just doesn't seem to have that ability at times. And then that creates these 3, 2, 3, 4 minute droughts. In the first half, they had a 7+ minute scoring drought. Again, if these guys had Mississippi State been any better, had they not made so many mistakes, this could have been a much closer game because of these awful scoring droughts. It's good to see the pick and roll work for Connor tonight. I hope we see more of that. But again, the problem has always been keeping Connor on the floor long enough or anybody to run that pick and roll. He's not the only guy you can run that with. You could run that with 2 or 3 of those other guys. You got a couple of other forwards you can run that with. But I think a lot of what happened tonight, it was a little bit of the momentum stuff, right? When when Connor would get a dunk, all of a sudden they were playing much better on both ends of the floor. Like they were living and dying off the momentum plays, off the big momentum swings. But when things go dry for Arkansas, they go dry. They just completely dry up on the scoring end. They have to figure out how to prevent. 7 minutes is unbelievable. Anybody who's watched basketball long enough, hell, anything beyond 2 minutes is just what is going on. 7 minutes is terrible. They had 5 turnovers, Arkansas did, in the first, I think it was 5 turnovers in 4 minutes. And then it stretched out to 7 turnovers in 7 minutes or 7 in 8 minutes. I don't understand it. They get a little sloppy, but when they move the ball around well out in the perimeter, they set up pick and rolls. They try to run things off the ball screens. When they get a little bit more fluid outside on the perimeter and we see more ball movement, I don't want to see – and here we go again with guys passing up open looks. I think Arkansas had 2 or 3 open looks in the first half. They tucked the ball back in. Jalen, who didn't play as much, I think he passed up a good scoring opportunity. Would have been a great – you're not going to complain when you got an open look, someone like Jalen or even Connor, who, again, Connor's good for a 3 or 2 a game. We saw some of that. Again, we're seeing that every game. They're passing up open looks. You can't complain about those. If you miss, I'm saying if you take that shot, You can't complain about that. It's an open look. And if it's someone who has a reputation or has shown the ability to score deep, you're okay with that. You're okay with them taking the shot. You go back to the game against Oklahoma State. Also, it turns out, by the way, I was completely wrong. I went back and watched. Connor was not meant to have that ball. J.D. Notte, it was just poor inbound play by Arkansas. And Oklahoma State crashed down on that on what Arkansas looked like, what they were trying to draw up there to get some to knock down the three. Connor, and like I said, I would rather if someone else taking that shot, but Connor had an open look, and I don't remember exactly how much time was left on the clock, but had he tried to pass it, he could have just as easily turned the ball over from if I remember correctly. It's just a crappy situation. But you fast forward to tonight, he went one of 4 out from out in the perimeter. You can live with that. You're okay with that. 1 of 4 is not atrocious. It's not terrible. 0 for 5. All right. Okay. Timeout. No more shots outside for you. But yeah, these 7-minute scoring droughts, that's unbelievable. I don't remember ever seeing them as long as I've watched Arkansas. And there were some years, especially early on in Mike Anderson years, during the later ends of the Palfrey years, and the towards the end of Stan Heath years. Obviously, these are not great years that we're talking about here because it would end up leading these guys getting fired. And I'm not saying at all that Musselman deserves to be fired. I'm just saying that's when the last time I can remember seeing these long scoring droughts as often as you see them in a single game. So, but why they were able to win tonight, depth, talent. I mean, that's why you won tonight. I think you out-talented Mississippi State. And they shot themselves in the foot time and time again. They were so sloppy tonight. They were sloppy. All right, what are we at here? Tie was 13.2 seconds on the clock. Okay. Vanover played well. He had to make up for that missed three-pointer against Oklahoma State. Only scored 2 threes all night. Yeah, Arkansas was bad. If you're looking at the stat sheet from outside, they were not good. And they had open looks. They just were not landing. They had open looks. And they even passed up some open looks. 2 of 17. 12%. Just under 12%. We won because Mississippi State they were horrible. There's no doubt about that. They were terrible. We need more threes, most definitely. 56 inch. Oh, yeah. Let's get the likes up, huh? What's up with the likes? Get them up. Line was Hogs. Yeah, it was. 7.5 was the line. U of A was down 15 at one point, won by 16. They outscored Mississippi State by 31 in a low-scoring game. I think maybe your definition of winning ugly might need to be revisited. No, Perry, you just didn't watch the same game that I did. Mississippi State wholeheartedly lost this game because of ugly play by them. If you go back and watch, they played terrible. It was an ugly game. I think you need to go back and watch the game again, Perry. That's what I think. What's up, John? How you doing, man? I didn't even see you in chat, bruh. What's up, Ty? What's up, Dwight? How you doing, man? Ty, do you think we beat Kentucky? I think you're capable of beating Kentucky. Hell, I think everybody's capable of beating Kentucky this year. I mean, they're so I don't even know how to. They're just a team this year that like they've had a hard time finding an identity. It doesn't seem like they have any clear leadership, and yet, I mean, they're 4-4 in conference play. We said this, watch them go out and have a decent conference record. Right now, they very well could still end up with a decent conference record. I don't think they go to the tournament. Definitely don't think they go to the tournament. I mean, they're going to have to win out and make some noise in the SEC. Well, they're going to have to win the SEC tournament. I think they're all but out, if you want my honest opinion. I realize, there's still a lot of basketball left, but just what you've seen from these guys, they are just so streaky. Their potential is they could beat anybody in the league just with their talent alone. But I don't know. I can't figure out what their issue is. I mean, 5-10, 500 in conference play. I mean, right now Arkansas, according to the Basketball Power Index, they're favored at almost 60%, right at 59%. So, yeah. Ty, give me your Super Bowl pick. I'm taking, man, as much as I hate to say it. And I look, I'm nothing against the Chiefs. Dwight, I think you are a Chiefs fan. Chiefs are going to win it. I don't want them to win it. I'm rooting for Tampa. I'm rooting for Tom Brady, which is so weird to say because he's the first quarterback I ever truly hated when he beat my Rams way back in 2001. I still have hatred for that Patriots team. Oh, my God. But I'm rooting for Tampa. I don't know. Ty, it's crazy that we beat Ole Miss by 15. Then Ole Miss beats the Vols the next game in the SEC basketball is crazy this year. It's so weird this year. It's so weird to see Kentucky as bad as they are. But then they're capable of beating anybody, right? When you have, it's like Alabama, when you've got the kind of talent, you're expected to win out, right? You're expected to be great. And they are so below it. EA Sports College Football is back. It's been 8 long years. I wanted to so badly make a video on that. I honestly had forgotten about it getting into this game. I am so excited about that. Very excited about NCAA football coming back. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. Let me read chat. That we can agree on. I am pulling hard for the Bucks. I don't know, man. And I know, like, the Chiefs fans, look, I love you guys in my chat. I really do. I think a lot of you guys are pretty awesome. You're good Chiefs fans. You're not super cocky. Man, I've got some friends that are just, they just think Kansas City, Kansas City is like God's gift to the United States. Oh, look how great. We're a sports city. St. Louis says hello. All right? Not that it's bad against Kansas. Look, I want to go to Kansas City. I want to try the barbecue. And it looks like a beautiful town. Right? Nothing against Kansas City, but I think it's more people that I know. It's just, oh. Ty, thank you for being the official release valve for the fan base after each basketball game, win or lose. Yeah, man. I appreciate that. That's what I've become, right? Just vent it out. Yeah, I do think this was an ugly game. I do. I think this was an ugly game. I think anybody who really, like, when you watch Arkansas this year, they're capable of having these kind of games. It's just nice to see them bounce back and get a win. And look, you're excited about the win tonight. You won 61-45. It was still an ugly game. You could still beat, and it's not like the Bulldogs are a great team, right? They've got NIT written all over them if they're lucky. And I think that for that, right, yeah, Justin Smith is the glue. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling y'all, he's been impressive. And when he was hurt, you just saw this huge gap down low, man. You just saw, like, Arkansas just looked so discombobulated without Justin Smith on the floor. I mean, he's someone who just gets physical. He's as close. I've said this before. He's as close to Corliss as you're going to get. Might be as close to Corliss as we've gotten in a while. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bobby Portis was – I mean, he was no Corliss, but Bobby played angry, would go after loose balls, was very aggressive, But Justin, as far as just that tenacity, like, he brings it, man. When you need it, it's like Justin Smith delivers. Did we sign anyone else in 2020? No, we're not expected to, as far as I know, Alex. Signing day is tomorrow. That is right. That is correct. Yeah. Dwight says, yeah, like the last NCAA football game I had was like a 2009 on the PS2. Wow. I just upgraded the PS4 back in 2017. I need college football, right? Yep. Too bad we have Justin Smith for just 1 year. Corliss was one of a kind. He was. Corliss played like he played like baby Shaq. I mean, he just was so physical, man, and mean. He just kind of wore it on his face. Big Nasty was a dog. You're exactly right. He was a dog. I mean, he's terrifying. Yeah, he was. You don't get very many of those, right? You don't get very many Corlisses, and we were very fortunate. He visited my elementary school his freshman year. I went to Jefferson Elementary in Fayetteville way back in the day, and I think I was in 4th grade, and he visited the school, and I remember being it was the year after they won the title. So it would have been, I think it was 95. I don't know. I'm sure my dad might have the the paper somewhere. But I remember going to school. I had because I had the 94 championship. I'm pretty sure that's when he came. We had a couple of Razorbacks come. I think Todd Day, Lee Mayberry both came to our school. Oliver Miller. Of course, that was before Corliss, but Corliss played like the other teams owed him money. I love it. Take the like button. Oh, here we go. Brooks is going to do it for us here. Take the like button into the bathroom. Oh, wait. Wait till he sit down on the... Okay, all right. I didn't know where you were going with that. Take the like button into the bathroom. Wait till they sit down on the toilet, and then pull the fire alarm. I met him several times. He lived in... Yeah, he did. Russellville, and my teacher was his neighbor. Yep. I'm pretty sure I met him when I was I think there's pictures of me sitting on Lee Mayberry and Todd Day's lap. You know, I don't know how long ago, like 1990, 1989, 1990. I love Corliss, but he let Zedek push him around when he was trying to go back to back in 95. Big Nasty was as disappointing in 95 as he was super in 94. Man, if you can remember games, I can't remember every game, but I do remember. I remember after every bucket that he scored, like you could just see it on him, and he'd let the other team kind of know. I always wondered how much shit he talked to the opposing court or to the opposing bench. Very rarely. I mean, he wasn't like mouthy. I don't ever remember him being super mouthy, but you could just see he wore it on his collar, man. He had it on his. He left everything out there on the floor. Corliss was great. He was great. Corliss's dad was a friend, and Corliss was my daughter's camp counselor in Russellville. Oh, that's cool. Gary, that's pretty sweet. Oh, here we go. Hit the like button like Desi Seals. Hit that wood. After the and one. Right? Boy, Desi, did you guys see him land on the floor tonight? That was tough. All right. 51 minutes. What time is it? 11 p.m. Alex Dillard still hitting threes from Mars. Dillard. Man, y'all are taking me back. These are guys I haven't thought of in a long time. Let me scroll up here. I thought someone else had a question. Let me scroll up. Oh, yeah. Okay, NCAA. Let me go on that really quick. Oh, and as far as the Stafford Goff trade, I know some of you are like, I don't care about NFL. I'll just say this. Rams weren't going anywhere with Goff. I think Goff's days of getting the Rams any further than where they went this year, I don't know. And it's hard to put it all on Goff. I'm excited about Stafford, not super stoked. It's not like he was a legend at Detroit, but I'm okay with it. Like, I don't like I think they gave up 2 first-round picks. I'm not a fan of that. I hate giving up those picks, but it is what it is. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I haven't really put my finger on how I feel about that trade. But it seems like anything's really an upgrade to Goff. I just was not a fan of that guy. He had a hard time winning the big games. Very rarely did you ever feel comfortable when he had the ball in his hands with a final drive with like a minute to go or 2 minutes to go in the fourth. I never felt comfortable he was going to lead you to a win in a tough game scenario. Maybe Stafford could do it. I don't know. Connor Vanover. Oh my gosh. Sean McVay and Stafford. Maybe they can work some magic together. I don't know. NCAA, really excited. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to end on this. I don't think it takes them 3 years to make this damn game. I don't think it takes them 3 years to make this damn game. One thing EA has done really well, and they did it for a while when they were making NCAA, they're pumping out 2 games a year, virtually the same damn game. Well, I mean, not. Hold on. Let me. In terms of, that's not what I meant. Okay, I know anyone who's an NCAA purist probably just like punched their monitor. I didn't mean it like that. Please forgive me, for I have sinned. What I mean is, the engine that they use to build NCAA, which is now it's Frostbite. They use the Frostbite engine. they always used the same engine. I think Tiburon used to develop the games for both college, for EA's NCAA football and Madden. So, and they did this for years. Now, yes, they're polar opposite games. NCAA was always so much better, on another level better. The pageantry, the school traditions, and even the feel. Like when you open up the playbooks, it felt like college football, and it just felt vastly superior to Madden, right? I mean, I'm starting to sound like a real gaming nerd here, but bear with me. NCAA was so much further ahead of Madden. Recruiting used to be the absolute shit. Now, I mean, you know, if you've seen me and War Machine talk about it on Twitter, he obviously loves NCAA 14. I freaking hate NCAA 14. Now, this revamped. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out NCAA Revamped, you need to. Revamped has completely changed how I look at NCAA 14. It actually installs directly to your hard drive on your PlayStation 3 or 360. You do need the disc to install it. Now, I had to have a buddy of mine come over and help me out because some of this stuff, it requires a little bit of, you know, like you got to know what you're doing on the computer and all this crap. You got to put a flash drive, you know, you got to save some stuff to your flash drive, put it into your PS3. You got to have the disc, NCAA 14. But then after that, you don't need the disc anymore. And it runs so much better, way smoother. It even feels like some of the load times are a little faster, not much, but NCAA 14 to me, like they dumbed down the recruiting so much. So I think you get the game within the next year and a half. Well, probably my guess would be either July of 2022. I don't know if they're going to change because that used to be the release date. Was always, if I remember right, it was always July, and then the following month you got Madden. I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if you got it in 2022. I'm not buying that it's going to take 3 years. Now, it could be 2 years. Maybe it's a couple more years out. Maybe it is 23. I don't know. But I'm not buying 3 to 4 years. I've had people tell me 4 years. Some people say 3. A lot of people are saying 3. I don't see that. I just don't. They're going to take the Frostbite engine, and then hopefully, God willing, they get the same people that developed those NCAA games. I don't even think Tiburon's. I don't even think they exist anymore. Maybe they do, but they bring the people that worked on NCAA. Bring those people in, get them to work. I don't want a Madden cop-off. I don't want a reskin Madden football. But then again, maybe that wouldn't be terrible as long as they tried to get it back to, you know, the way the mechanics worked on the old NCAAs. But if it's purely a Madden clone, that's going to be very disappointing. Hopefully they're able to capture the magic. Hopefully they're able to capture the pageantry, you know, the traditions, just that feel. And they've never added running through the A. I brought that up in Discord tonight, and I'm shocked that the people in there that understood NCAA weren't as like, what the hell? Yeah, you're right. They never added running through the A. They never added that. And to me, Arkansas being a Power 5 program, that's something they have done for years. And the fact that NCAA never put that in their damn game, they better do that this time. Just do that, right? Like that's all they need to do as far as what they've missed on past Arkansas teams on their games. Really excited. I'm on cloud 9 today. I'm on cloud 9. NCAA, I am really excited for. This is a game that we have been begging for EA to bring back, and they are. They're bringing it back. I'm pretty pumped. So EA needs input from actual college fan. Crazy Hog. I hope. Let's see. Mr. Bloodland says, I hope it still will have an Xbox One version. I don't want to upgrade until there are more games. If you're waiting on more games on Xbox, you're going to be waiting on a while. Xbox sucks. Don't at me. Xbox sucks. Like, what's the point of owning one? Games Pass is cool. It's cool. I'll give you that. But, like, I'm sick and tired of Gears of War and Halo. Like, that's all that trash can looking machine offers. I just pissed off someone I know. Rams were going after Rodgers first. Yeah, I think they did want Aaron, and I had heard rumors that they were really curious about Aaron. UCLA's big goofy white guy pushed him around in the 95 finals. He was great, but had one bad game in the 95 finals against UCLA. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, Perry. I see what you're saying. I'm ready for NCAA football. Miss those Dynasty days. I'm telling you, man, Online Dynasty was the bomb. Online Dynasty was great. I would be down with Rodgers with Rams as a Packers fan. That'd be tough. Are you a PlayStation guy? I am. PC PlayStation guy. NHL 21 is the greatest game out right now. NCAA March Madness was a great game. I remember playing with Courtney Fortson. Well, that's something else. Courtney Fortson. Oh, he was a baller. I loved Courtney Fortson. He was a baller. I just don't know what the hell happened here. I would say I'm a PlayStation guy between the consoles. Yeah, I am. I think Xbox. I just don't know what there is to play on that machine. I just don't. Dude, I will say this. You have a quality show and deserve many more views by the Hog fans. I appreciate that, man. I really do. It's, look, it's hard to build these from the ground up. I don't have, when you have the resources like someone of a Trey Biddy who's well known and works his ass off. Trey Biddy is good at what he does over at 247, but he's developed not a community, but he's developed one of the major recruiting sites for Arkansas fans, and he's done really good work. But when you have that all those years under his belt, and he kills it on YouTube, his show is excellent. His is more of he just gives you the news, right? Like he just tells you what's up. I'm more like I just interact. I try to interact. I react to whatever we just watched. Been doing that for a while, and he does that too with his walk and talks. I'm too fat to do walk and talks. I can't do a walk and talk, but I like to kind of sit and chat. Like I like to talk with try to interact with you guys, right? Can't be friends, Ty. Oh, I'm sorry. You must be a Xbox guy. I just never have seen 360 was great. 360 was a wonderful machine, unless you got the red ring of death, which I did get. My first Xbox 360, I got the red ring, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. I've never owned an Xbox since, and I won't. They did have good games. But the PS3 later in its life, oh my gosh, the games are incredible. The PS4 is great, and I want a PS5. I just think there's more content there, right? There's more games. It's a slow burn that will blow up overnight someday. What are you talking about? Especially if the Razorbacks get back to a 10-win season. I like this channel as much or maybe even more than the other Hog channel. I appreciate that. War Machine does great. If we're just shooting the shit here for a minute, War Machine does great highlight content. War Machine, he's been at it for years. I mean, he's an OG. I interviewed him a couple times. We interviewed him on the Hog Talk podcast, and then I interviewed him before that, like 3 years ago here. He's a good dude. I like him a lot, and he does. We may disagree on NCAA 14 because I'm going to shit talk it every chance I get. But he's a good guy. I like what he does. And you've got there's other highlight creators. Excuse me, there's Hoggy Bones. Hoggy Bones, if you guys haven't watched his stuff, he does a really good job. He makes really cool highlight videos. He does this reaction video and didn't put me in the video. I was pissed off. And even he admitted it was a missed opportunity. I'm like, all right, okay, well, maybe he'll put me in the next one. He doesn't. So next Hoggy Bones video, you guys get into his freaking comment section and just tell him you need to add Ty from the pig trail right meow. Put him in one of your freaking highlight videos. I love what he does. Good stuff. He really does. He puts together good stuff. You're like the Arkansas version. Oh, where's this going? You're like the Arkansas version Luke Combs. I played an Xbox once when my youngest son was at ACH. What was your first PlayStation? It was the PS1. 1990. I'm old. You guys, I know I look younger, but I'll be 38 in July. PS1 96, 97. And my dad, if you ever see him in chat, he's I doubt he's in here tonight. Arky 56. He was too damn cheap to buy me an actual full game. So I had to get like demo disc. out of the gaming magazines, and that's all I had for years, or I had to borrow from my buddies, or thankfully you had Blockbuster right down the road on the old 6th Street. I'll be 30 in July. Oh, wow. Crazy. Did Pictorial Nation ever give you crap about your channel name? No, they have not sent me a cease and desist yet. Mike Woods does reaction video. Yeah, Mike Woods does. Mike Woods, golly. I mean, he has an audience. Who could beat that, man? He's got fans that just, I mean, he posts anything, they're going to go watch it. I see you are a Cards fan. I am. What gave it away? I don't know. What gave it away? I'm kidding. Yeah, that giant Cardinal. I am a huge Cardinal fan. I am from Stevens, Arkansas, home of Dick Hughes, and got pitching lessons from Mr. Hughes when I was 12. Wow. Ever heard of Dick Hughes? I have, but not very well. Again, if Arky56 was in chat, he'd probably tell you all about. He could probably give you his stats. My dad, and again, we're just shooting the shit. So if anyone's leaving, hey, thank you guys. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm just shooting the shit. My dad in middle school, he went to Farmington High School. Well, so this would have been, maybe it was his sophomore year in high school. I don't know. I can't tell a story as well. Of course, I'm not him, but he was told he had to turn something in. I think it was for history class because he didn't know the answers to whatever quiz he was taking. So what did he do? I mean, this is where I get this from. He's been a diehard Cardinal fan since I think he popped out. We're all Cardinals fans. The whole Hudson family, everyone's Cardinal fans. He flips the sheet over and he writes down, because the teacher said you got to turn in something. He writes down the Cardinals batting order and turns it in. Like, that's me. I'm pretty sure I did that with the Rams in junior high. Like, I'm pretty sure I did that, or maybe I even did that with the Cardinals one year. I mean, that's where I get this from. And here I am. I must be the oldest one in here. I'm 47. Yo, Ty, do you realize that the Hogs are undefeated against Mississippi schools? They are. They are sweeping. Don't they play? Do they have one of the Mississippi schools again? Or is that it? I feel like they play someone again. Do they play Ole Miss? No, they don't. They completely swept the Mississippi schools in basketball and football. Isn't that great? That's a great feeling. Mark McGuire, if I spelled that right, was my favorite player. Yeah. We like shooting the shit. We like the stock. All right, well, I'm gonna call it a night. We're over an hour. I do appreciate you guys. I don't mind just sitting here babbling on. This is what I like. I like interacting with people. It's why we have Discord. It's why I do what I do. Hopefully Arkansas can win the next couple of games. It's going to set you up for a really big contest with Mizzou on the road. Is that who's next after that? Isn't that what I said earlier? Mizzou? Yeah, number 18, Mizzou. Got to win these next two, and Mizzou could be a big quad one win, and then you turn around, you're at home against Florida. So my ass is starting to hurt on this chair too, I'm not going to lie. Bob Gibson, my dad's all-time favorite pitcher, Bob Gibson, made MLB change the rules. Yep, lowering the height of the mound. He sure did. Sure did. I used to watch I just watched videos of him pitching on YouTube. I love Bob. Bob Gibson was the GOAT, man. Night, Ty. Awesome show. See you later. I appreciate that, Crazy. Baseball starts in 2 weeks. I'm excited. We'll see. Kevin Bohannon is our baseball guy on the Hog Talk. So stick. If you want some good baseball content, Cabo is the guy. He's definitely our baseball guy. So he's usually on the Monday shows on the Hog Talk. I'm sure I'll have him on Friday shows as well. So, all right. Again, I appreciate you guys. Everyone who donated in Super Chat, you guys are awesome. Everyone that was in chat, I appreciate it. Who the hell is Luke Combs? I feel like I should know that. Someone said I'm like the Luke Combs. Who's Luke Combs? Is this some fat country singer? It's some fat country singer. What? Because I'm fat and bearded. I don't look anything like him. First off, okay, I don't have a red beard. I have a brown beard. Son of a bitch. I do kind of look like him. Whoop pig. I'll see you guys later. Peace.